Jan-Marc, thank you so much for joining us here at FundForum International. In an increasingly tech-led world, what are this industry doing to keep up? And where they've been able to perhaps rest on their brands and the reputation that brings in the past, is that changing too?
Yeah, I think it's gradually changing. I think one important thing to probably keep in mind is that when you're in the banking industry providing financial services, brand can still be a huge kind of differentiator, because it provides often a kind of the trust which brands like HSBC built over many years. So it's an asset to have, but clearly in itself will not be of any value if we don't manage to stay relevant for our customers. And more and more clearly there are challenges out there which we have to face in terms of new capabilities which we are being given, particularly around digital, which enable us to interact and engage with customers in a whole new way.
You talked about digital there. We hear so much about data, digital, AI, machine learning. How is it revolutionising this business, and is asset management keeping up?
Yeah, so speaking from a wealth management point of view, clearly, it opens up many new options in terms of how we stay relevant with our clients, in terms of how we speak to them, about what we speak to them, because clearly we know our customers very well, and considering basically what they we just can be supporting our relationship managers with better information to stay on top of basically the agenda of our customers, but also basically respond to customer needs in a whole different world as our customers becoming younger and younger, or adapting these digital tools as well, simply have very different expectations in terms of how they want to be served. So it becomes more and more a bit like a consumer environment, and less a kind of differentiate ourselves as with technical terms and things like that.
If it is changing like that, what do you look for in terms of talent within, and how do you keep that talent on board?
Oh yeah, I mean, one of our biggest challenges, I think, if I start with the form of what is needed actually in that environment, I think what's never going to change is the technical skills, or the very particular skills needed to perform a job. And of course that's particularly important when we look at the business mix, or when we look at the diversity of our customers. But I think what has changed is two things. So clearly in customer conversations, which are still happening human to human, the whole aspect around EQ, or the emotional intelligence, and to basically connect with our clients to have the right conversations is absolutely essential.
Because that differentiates you when machine learning is becoming prevalent.
Yeah, and that's supported of course by digital capabilities. Again, we provide support to our relationship managers, data analytics, to have better conversations. But we are also looking at probably a couple of new requirements which we haven't really thought about many years ago, in which they are more linked to probably the DNA of basically the people out there, in terms of, I will call it the cognitive system, which clearly goes way beyond just experience and technical skills.
So if you were to write a description of the ideal person or employee that you're looking for now, what would be included on that list?
Clearly, willingness to learn, be able to be a good match to our customers, to our brand, to our promise, but also to our culture. I think at the end of the day, clients will feel if what they are getting from their relationship managers basically is not really fulfilling, promises which we have put out there. Then I don't think we will be successful, or as successful as we want to be. So it's really a kind of that almost melting pot around the culture of the organization, the brand, the services, using the technology which clients are more and more using as well. If you can't make that, if you can't bring that into the equation, we'll not be able to distinguish ourselves from.
And with all of that in mind, presumably that means a more diverse workforce, because it's been so homogenous as a body, asset manager, hasn't it?
So you know, probably I don't want to talk about diversity here, but I think I would use the other word, is with the inclusive kind of environment. And clearly, the organization I represent, with a very big global footprint, which basically means a very diverse set of people, but also a geographic reach. We have huge opportunities, to basically almost move people from a global function into a country function, swap them, from one division to the other, which is a big advantage for us in terms of, a kind of developing also perspective for our own people.
If you were to look forward 10 years, what do you think will be the key things that differentiate the successful asset managers from those who aren't?
So I think the pace is accelerating. I'm not talking about the exponential curve necessarily, but clearly I shouldn't say just keeping up with the pace, but at the end of the day, providing solutions which are not felt as just another product, but where clients really feel they're getting an outcome which matches their needs. And I think what might change 10 years down the road is less of a conversation around alpha or outperformance or a kind of active ratio and things like that, but more like, what does an asset management solution for a wealth client do to basically meet the client's objectives, to whatever fulfill their dreams and visions.
Much more customer centric then.
Much more customer centric, and I think going back to your machine learning AI question, with all that information more and more available also to us or to asset managers, to the industry, we can be way more targeted to customers. There is less of a need to potentially segment clients into 3 boxes, but we can be way more nuanced around which levers we actually use to be relevant for a particular client.
When you're looking for inspiration to be able to make those changes and start that mindset in a business, is it helpful to come to an event like this where you get to exchange ideas?
Yeah, this event like this is it's just a great opportunity to step out and get the outside perspective. Not that we actually wouldn't get that anyway, but I think it's just a kind of a very rich source of enrichment for new ideas, and listening to the short presentations, listening to the debates gives one a very good impression around what's in the minds of people.
Well, I better let you go and continue immersing yourself in it then. Thank you so much for joining us. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.